Okay, so this is the first one we're going to work on. This is from the down tempo side. It is very creatively named 060911. That's the date I started on this. It's worth mentioning a lot of these tracks are sketches I made a while ago, a few years ago in this case. And right now there are only 5 parts to this, and I'm going to just sort of demonstrate them. Well, first of all, let's listen to the whole thing. Okay, so there are 5 parts, like I said. First of all, we have a kick and a hat. This is just done in a drum rack in live. It's a pretty generic pattern. Now the second thing I have is another drum loop. Now this is actually a pre-recorded loop made in Stylus RMX, and which is basically software for taking drum loops and manipulating them in different ways. We will replace this at some point with a live drummer. Then the next part is the bass line, which is done in an instrument called Razor, which is a reactor instrument. Reactor is like an environment for both creating your own instruments and effects and also sharing them. And there's a number of excellent factory ensembles, factory instruments like Razor that you can purchase. And this is an additive synthesizer. You see where the vertical lines are? Those represent different sine waves that are being added together to make the sound you hear. And of course there's some modulation on the cutoff, so that sort of wobble is coming from the filter cutoff, which is being affected by an LFO. An LFO is something that basically lets you wobble something or change it in a repeating pattern over time. So, and then we have this pad, which looks like I recorded originally with my virus, and we'll hear that. That's very pretty. Sort of add some ambiance to the sound. And finally we have this high arpeggiated sound, which also came from the virus. I'm going to add them in one by one now. Alright, and that's basically it. There's also the this last track is just the MIDI notes that I used to make the 2 higher sounds. So some quick impressions I have. It's a very emotional piece, very expressive. I'm kind of thinking like an electric piano might be something to work with. Electric piano is kind of my go-to instrument when I want to be very expressive. I used to play a Fender Rhodes, and it has a very a sound that to me is very warm and very like heart-centered. So it might be really appropriate for this. But I'm gonna start working on this, and I'll be back with you shortly.